this is the score sheet. Probably don't need to go through this a lot. This is just where I keep records of what's going on. If I've drunk my water, if I've eaten my food, how much I'm carrying. Remember, because not only do you carry your normal equipment, which the game tells you, you could be potentially carrying meat, whether it be cooked or uncooked, and you've got a limit of 20 kilos. You can't go over that. And here's your drink weight. I make it 3 kilos of water, or 3 litres. So you can't go over your 20 kilos. So the rest of this are probably not that important. Now, upgrades. I've split the game into upgrades that you earn that are skill based, and items which are not skill based but help you. Now, I didn't do that in the survival mode, but I'm doing it for this mode. You'll see these sort of brown coloured options are what are classified as skills. So if I go back to here in the rules, where I say here, 1 skill earned for each animal harvested. That's a personal best score, or it's a personal best trophy lodge score. You get to choose your skill. These are the skills. So if you look through it, the hunting HUD that you can turn on, there's quite a few aspects to that. So I've made it a sort of a cumulative or a multi upgrade. Stores how many bullets you carry, how many bullets are left in your weapon. I'm calling that a skill based on the fact that you're a skillful hunter and you learn to keep count without having to check. So it's only a minor skill, but so the same goes for bullets in weapon. The health bar, I'm calling that a skill. Your ability to judge how healthy you are and how much of your health has dropped, or how unwell you are, or how wounded you are. So I'm classifying that as a skill. So that's 3. That's all part of 1. The visibility meter. That's the one that shows you how well hidden you are. Again, as a hunter, I'm classifying that as a skill. Make your own judgment when you're hunting as to whether you think you're well hidden or not. And again, also how much sound you're making. Now there's 5 skills that are all to do with the hunting HUD. And there are 4 others which I've decided aren't skills, but they're purely mechanical. A compass is an item. I suppose I could have made it a skill, but in this case I'm making it an item, that you're holding a compass. Obviously there's 2 different types of compasses. There's the fixed mode and the free mode, so I'm just putting a price on that. So the ones that have prices next to them aren't earned by upgrades. You buy them when you want to, when you think you've got the money to spare. So you've got to manage your resources. So it's 250 I've charged for the fixed compass, 250 for the free compass. The wind direction I'm making, I could have made that a skill, but I decided to make a little item that just tells you the wind direction. Maybe like the hunter mate does it, or whatever. Anyway, I'm making that a figure that you have to pay for. The heart rate is like a heart rate monitor. It tells you what your heart rate's at. So I've made that something you buy. These next few I've classified as skills, and they're all to do with tracking. So it's basically representing how skilled you are as a hunter at finding tracks, whether they're the track you want or the animal that you're not following. So I'm making those 2 a skill. The collectible outline colour, it's a minor thing, but again it's based on your visual perception, so I've made that a skill. Downed animal highlight, your ability to find an animal that's down. Maybe it's hidden in the grass and you find it quicker than other people, so that's a skill. Detecting which sound the animal made a noise, which direction it came from, I'm making that a skill. The spatial tracking cone on the ground, which was the one that gives you an idea where to go next. Again, that's to do with tracking, so I'm making that a skill. The point of interest icons I'm making not a skill. They're just your landmarks. That's the sort of thing you can just look at on a map, which is why I'm making it something you pay for, like a software upgrade on the, I know on the game it actually shows in the middle of the screen, but I'm making that one something you buy. The need zone icons, I'm making that one a skill because that's more to do with hunter's memory and ability to track and remember where certain animals eat. Obviously, in real life, as hunters, go around an area a lot, they'd say, oh yes, I know this place down the lakes where the deer come, and I know over here the coyotes come, that sort of thing. So I'm making that a skill. The glow tracks obviously makes it easy to find tracks, so it's a skill. The aim toggle, what's that one again? That's, I think, where you don't have to hit the button. No, what is it? You have to hold the right mouse button down to keep the gun in the ready to shoot position. Making that a skill. Manual reload and manual chambering, that's I'm making that a skill, which is basically the ability to not to forget to do reload or chambering, which I do quite a lot when I play, unfortunately. So I'm making that a skill, or both of them. The spotting outline that can happen in the game with through the binoculars, I believe. I'm making that a skill. It makes the animal easy to see. Same for the tree stand outlines. Spotting outline on, well, that's associated with spotting outline colour. I'm just making that a skill. Obviously in real life you don't see a spotting outline around an animal, but it's just a general way of explaining that, oh well, you're just a bit better at spotting animals in the undergrowth than others. And the track effects is another skill. Now all these other things, here's a few that you have to pay for. The lamp that you use at night, I'm making you have to buy it first, $7.50. The traps I explained earlier, that when they get stuck, that's a cost for that, and that's per trap. When you use it and you're finished with it, I'm making it that's done, and if you want to do it again, you've got to buy another. So I might just make a note here. I'll just say use once. There. The hunter mate you don't start with, but it costs $7.50. The map you don't start with, it costs $7.50 to get it. These next four are skills: running, crouching, lying prone, holding breath. I am denied about making run a skill or whether you just start with it. The purposes of the game, the run can often have a dodge element to it when you're trying to get out of the road of a bunch of deer or whatever are suddenly running at you. On that basis, I decided to make it a skill. So I'm treating runs sort of like the ability to dodge, obviously, because when you run you can get out of the way quicker. So that's why I've chosen to make that a skill, and that's why I've decided you don't have it at the start. The camera you can use to take pictures, I've got a cost for that, $4,500. The ability to whistle, it's definitely a skill. Certainly myself, I can't whistle like some of those hunters that wolf whistle to make the ducks fly off. So I'm putting that as a skill. Now the camouflage option, I'm making this, I'm tying this in with your clothing. Now I think I have, yeah. How I'm working this out, so you pay an amount for your set of clothing to start with. Now for Hirschfelden, I know the orange camo isn't for camouflage purposes, it's so you stand out. But what I've been doing is wanting to apply each of the clothing options you can buy to each of the zones for camouflage purposes. Now I know orange isn't, but forget the fact that orange isn't really a camouflage. I chose it for Hirschfelden because there's a lot of trees in there that sort of have that orange colour with the orange leaves. I thought, oh look, I'll just make it that the orange one's a camouflage. I know it doesn't make sense in real life, but I suppose I could have made it one of the others. But the point is, what you do is you've got to buy the clothes first, $12,000, and then what you have to do then. This is like an upgrade version, so you're getting a better version of those clothes so that you camouflage better. And by camouflaging better, I'm making it you can actually shoot in pressure zones. So I'm linking the two together. Now, when I say plus 250, that means you pay $12,000 for the original clothing, the what's the proper name of it? The blazing orange outfit, and then you pay $12,250 for the ability to every day shoot one animal in the pressure zone. And then if you want to pay another 250, which would make 12,500. Then you get to do 2. So there, I've made it very expensive. The hunting pressures, animals keep coming back. Like I think I've mentioned this in other videos before. I don't think it works very well. The animals keep coming back anyway. I just want to make it a little bit harder to get the animals to use that advantage to get the animals. So once you get one in a pressure zone, you really need to go somewhere else. But if you're willing to pay the money, you can get 1, then 2, then 3 per day in a pressure zone. The waypoint marker on your map, which then I think shows up on the screen. I'm just making that like a software upgrade on your GPS. $250. Now the fast travel. I don't want you to have the ability to be jumping from outpost to outpost instantly. So what I'm doing, I'm limiting that by making it every time you want to do that, you have to pay $250. And it's basically simulating a ticket where someone comes and picks you up and takes you there. Hunt Club beta is irrelevant because it's not working. The lures are pretty straightforward. They're the same prices as they are in the game. Although there's some of them that that you get at the start. I've actually put prices to them. But so there's a series of the NA is not applicable. That means in Hirschfelden they're not relevant. So you can see there's a few callers and rattlers there that all cost 6,000. Then we've got some scents that you can buy, which is again self-explanatory. You just pay like you normally do in the game. These goose decoys, I'm making it that they cost $500. I should say each on that. So I think you can stack. Is it 20? You can use 20 in a certain area, which I suppose means in theory you could buy 40 and have them in 2 different zones. But I'm making it for each one, it's 500. The binoculars. There you can see that each binoculars goes up by a bit. I've done some valuing on some of these items when you get them as DLCs, and when you get them in, when you go into the game, they're free. So I'm actually assigning costs to them. I think that's an example. I think you get the night vision binoculars for nothing. But I've just worked out, done a bit of research. Well, tried to work out a fair price for it in game. And I've done that for some of the other things too. So we've got some equipment here, the scent eliminator, day packs, they're standard. Your orange outfit, I've already explained that. The all these portable structures, I've made a price for each one. So a lot of these you can get more than one, and I've made it if you want to do that, you've got to spend the money. I'll get to how you spend the money later too, actually, because that's you're probably wondering how is you going to spend this money when the game won't take it off you. I'll get to that. The Sabre, the vehicle, the all-terrain vehicle, I've got a price there of 20,000. I think that's already in the game from memory. But here's more skills, which are the skills and the perks that I mentioned earlier. You can choose those again as upgrades here for each animal that you harvest. That's a high score, personal best score. So that covers all the upgrades.